Just about a week ago, a small satellite was destroyed as it re-entered Earth's atmosphere. For the Vermont College that designed it, 2 years in space was a huge success. Viglienzoni joins us to explain why in this week's Sunday Science. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Julie. Even as this project burned up, Vermont Technical College was already looking ahead to its next out-of-this-world adventure.
24 months and 2 days till it burned up. And we talked to it 23 hours before it burned up.
You might not expect someone to talk about the destruction of tens of thousands of dollars of equipment with a smile, but Vermont Technical College physics professor Carl Brandon knows that it's part of working in space. After 2 years in orbit, the college's CubeSat re-entered the atmosphere and was destroyed.
It's a 4-inch cube with little tiny legs, quarter-inch legs on the ends.
We first told you about VTC's CubeSat program back in 2013, when it had just been launched into space. Even then, they knew the small satellite only had 2 years to take measurements and photos of the Earth. What they didn't know was just how successful it would be. Of the dozen university CubeSat satellites launched on this rocket, Vermont's was the only one that lasted the full 2 years.
The bitter part is, well, it's no longer up there, but the good part was it worked as expected for the full time it was in orbit, and nobody else came close. We really developed a very good reputation.
Brandon credits their success to their cutting-edge software program.
The software really is the most complicated part of a satellite, and most of the people who build satellites don't understand that.
And VTC hopes this success will attract more students to their programs, with a new master's degree in software engineering and a chance to work on an even bigger project with NASA.
The new satellite is going to have much more complicated software. It's an enormous jump up for us.
That jump is to the moon. Thanks to the success of their CubeSat, VTC is now designing the software on the Lunar Ice Cube project. It will be the first of its kind, set to launch in the summer of 2018.
This thing can get spit out of the rocket as it goes by the moon, make this big, long looping path to get into orbit around the moon, orbit the moon for 6 months, and the plan was to then crash it into the moon for disposal.
But he says he's hoping they might be able to take it even farther after that, perhaps even on a mission to Mars.
That is so impressive.
It was very impressive that theirs was the only one out of those dozen satellites that were built by universities. Theirs was the only one that stayed up for the full 2 years. The next closest was only 4 months in space.
Right?